We decided to try a session in the parlor of the Wyatt Earp House. We used the dead bell and the REM pod, and Liz and I were both given some names that we did not expect because we did not know who these people were. However, they would prove later to fit into the investigation.
That thing is upside down for some reason.
Can't do nothing until they figure out that camera.
Still trying to find make it flash?
It flashed now. I can't get it to stop from being everything's upside down.
Sure you're holding it right side up?
I do that and it still flips upside down.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I'm gonna smoke. Are we getting any other equipment out or doing anything?
Yes, we are. We're just getting started. Say what you just said about Josephine and the other
There's
actor.
a man here named, how'd I say it, Godfrey?
Okay.
He's a theater actor, and he's here with Josephine Baker.
Josephine Baker?
Why? Who's Josephine Baker?
I don't know. That may not be our Josie.
Wait, Josephine Baker was an actress from California. She was a black actress, but she looked white enough that they,
Really?
yeah.
Was she ever in Tombstone?
No, I don't know where that name came from, Baker, but that's the only Baker I'm aware of that was in theater. She was in the movies.
Milton. Jeff Milton. Does that name ring a bell to anybody? Maybe I'm just imagining it.
No, make sure you have it recorded, documented.
Well, I got it on here on the video, so.
It sounds familiar, but I can't place it.
Jeff Milton.
Jeff or John?
Maybe it's somebody I read about or something. Could be. No, not John. It was Jeff.
They ain't ringing the bell.
No bell.
I think they like it when we're not paying attention to it.
So the four are still here.
Yeah, White's kind of being a little,
Standoffish?
like, why does he need to keep ringing the bell? We already confirmed it. I stood up and rang it when he asked if I was here. I rang it. So he's being a little, and then you got Doc. You know, Doc's going to kind of back him up. Well, we can all go outside and have a powwow. White said that's...
Jeff Milton. Jeff Milton on Wikipedia. He looks old-timey.
Mm-hmm.
Who is he?
A lawman.
Did he die in Tombstone? Or was he here?
Let me find out. That's kind of bizarre.
In the Old West.
1861. He lived until 1947. He was a lawman.
Law dog.
Yeah, he was in Tucson. Died in Tucson, Arizona.
Really?
47. Where'd you come up with that name?
It came into my head. First it was Jeff. I thought they were talking about my nephew. Thought it might be one of our relatives. And I just heard Milton.
Father of the United States Border Patrol.
Is that confirmation?
Jeff, is that you?
Oh, he must have fought for
Jefferson.
the South if his name was Jefferson Davis Milton. American lawman in the Old West, son of Confederate Governor of Florida, John. There's your John Milton. He was the first officer appointed in U.S. Immigration Service Border Patrol in 1924. Does it say how he died? It said he died in age 85 in Tucson, so he was old. But he was in Arizona. Colonel Jeff Milton.
Texas Ranger, Deputy Sheriff. Huh. Commissioned by the Governor of Arizona.
Is that confirmation? What else is in there?
That's what I think.
family and early life. Born 1861. Marianna, Florida. Trying to read. Other ancestors were listed on the earliest passengers for the
Okay.
Jamestown settlement.
After a colorful career throughout the South, oh, that's still talking about his father, governor of Florida. Oh, so he was just 3 years old in 1865, of course. He was just a baby when the surrender at Appomattox happened. John Milton died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Lawman career, let's look at that. So he was a Texas Ranger. He died in Arizona, but I wonder if he ever... Sorry, people, I was off. I wonder if he ever was a lawman here. Let's see. New Mexico, deputy marshal. Sheriff John Slaughter in Cochise County. For a time in the 1880s, Milton worked under Sheriff John Slaughter in Cochise County, during which time the two were involved in several manhunts and shootouts with outlaws. And there's some well-known accomplishments: pursuit of Jack Taylor Gang, 1886, 1887. Milton and Slaughter trailed.
Oh shoot, look.
What?
Returning to Arizona, the two lawmen followed the outlaws' trail to Wilcox and then to Contention City,
Ah,
where they found gang members Manuel Roberts,
Robles.
and one of the others asleep.
We keep getting confirmation on this. So he joined the
was
customs.
arrested in Sonora. Robles, along with Geronimo Miranda, were killed by Mexican police in the Sierra Madre mountain area.
So this guy was a lawman with
Madre. Is that Sierra Madre?
a lawman with a pretty good career, and he was a deputy sheriff. Where did it say? Okay, in New Mexico and in Cochise County, Arizona, and he rode with John Slaughter, Sheriff John Slaughter, and chased some guys to Contention City, which is just right down the road that way. That's pretty wild.
That is.
And then we get
Yeah.
the bell. So are we on target with what we're talking about, Jeff Milton?
I talked to them, yeah, that's been confirmed. But I talked to Wyatt and them outside, why they're being like they are.
Uh-huh.
They don't like Johnny Ringo hanging outside.
Well, why don't they chase him away?
Because they said that he's our guest.
How is he our
Wyatt's
guest?
being like, yeah, Wyatt, you're being a shit.
He's not our guest.
Oh, here we go. If Josephine wanted to go with Kate and Karen, why didn't she go? Sorry, disappointed.
Whose voice? I hear a voice outside.
Todd and Jen?
Oh. So we're still talking about a different Josephine, right?
No, Josephine's here.
Josephine Marcus?
She's upset and hurt because she wasn't invited to go with Kate and Karen. And so that's got White up in a tizzy. And then he's like, you're not the firewoman that I expected.
Who said that?
Why? I'm gonna go have another powwow.
Josephine, you're welcome here. Sweetheart, you're welcome here. Where's she at?
Right there.
What, by Pete?
No, the doorway right there.
Wish I had my full spec camera.
You want me to get it?
Yeah, get one of the little boys.
There's a
The old
man
one,
here.
The old one?
Yeah.
That purple light.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Try
Baby, busy. I'll be back.
No.
I'm gonna sit here and yell at them.
Okay, I'm gonna shut this down for a little bit. That was a pretty interesting session. I wish I'd known all the responses that we received in real time. You know, mainly the EVPs, but of course, being EVPs, I didn't hear them at the time they were received, but only after reviewing the video. Now, all the EVPs you heard were captured on the audio from the video camera, and I was using the camera on my phone for that. So, excuse me, breaking down what we captured. First, let's talk about the names Liz and I got. Liz got Josephine Baker. She was surprised about that name, and it seems like maybe she didn't recognize who that was, at least initially. The Josephine we were expecting was Josephine Marcus Earp, Wyatt's common-law wife. So, you know, it was unexpected. So it was a surprise. And when Liz started talking about her, she seemed to know that she was an actress who was black but had light skin. And so I did some research on her, and she was indeed a beauty and an actress. It appears she left the U.S. because some racism issues at the time that were impacting her career and made her want to go someplace else. So she went to Paris, where she was very successful. And it also said she was quite an asset to the French resistance during World War II. So she was quite a lady. And Liz also picked up on, mentioned the name of Joffrey or Goffrey associated with her. Now, I couldn't find any real person named Joffrey or Goffrey or whatever associated with her, but what I did find was kind of interesting. There was a movie apparently in 2005. Now, I don't know of it and haven't seen it, but the information I saw said that there was a movie in 2005 in which Josephine Baker was a character. Now, it wasn't her, it was just a character playing her. And the name of the movie was Carmen and Joffrey. So Joffrey was a fictional character. Maybe she was using that to communicate to Liz, you know, who she was. And interesting, we'd find out later that she was the lady that asked for help early in the investigation, and that the other spirits there asked us to help her and pray for her. She didn't have a link to Tombstone apparently, but was there because she wanted our help. Now, Jeff Milton. I don't know why that name came to me. First I got Jeff, then later I got Milton. And as the video shows, Terry looked him up on Wikipedia and on his phone and found that he was quite a lawman, and that he did operate in Cochise County, where Tombstone is, and worked with Cochise County Sheriff John Slaughter. Now, John Slaughter was apparently after Wyatt's time in Tombstone, but he was well known and a famous lawman in the area. As we were reading through information on Terry's phone, we received several dead bell rings that seemed to be confirmation for what we were reading. At least that's what it seemed like to us. So, you know, kind of interesting. Liz mentioned that Wyatt was upset that Ringo was there and that he was our guest. Now, in my mind, we hadn't invited him to be our guest. But if you saw part one, you saw what we did do was state our intent to contact several of the cowboys from the Wyatt Earp era in Tombstone. And we mentioned Ringo. So maybe, I guess, by doing that, he had a right to be there as our guest. Now, let's talk about the EVPs we captured. The first one may have been a lady or maybe a child. I don't know. It was quiet and not real clear. But I'm not sure if I got right what was said. It sounded to me like she first said, "Mike, I told you to call me," and then, "Hello." Now, I don't have a strong idea who this may be, or may have been. Maybe one of the girls from the Birdcage Theater, and I think you'll see why I say that later. And we had several of them call me by name again, which is, excuse me, is getting more and more common. And one of them called me Michael, and she sounded like she had a bit of an accent, a little bit Southern, maybe Midwestern, I don't know. And I think it was probably Doc's Kate, because we've caught her several times before on audio, and she doesn't call me Mike, she calls me Michael. I'm not sure, though, but that's what I think. Now, there's a point where we're talking about Jeff Milton being from Florida, and we get a great level 3 EVP from a female with, again, what sounds like that same accent, and she says very clearly, "I do believe he was in Florida." Now, of all the EVPs in this session, this is my favorite, because you can hear her voice, you can hear her accent, and I love the way she said that. And again, I'm not sure, but I believe this is Kate. And she later says, "Oh my goodness," when I say, that Jeff Milton was a baby when Lee surrendered to Grant at Appomattox. So, oh my goodness. I think that's great. Later we get a clear and loud level 2, I think is a level 2 EVP that says, "Love you, Nino." And then shortly after that, "I love you," while I'm talking. John slaughtering, John slaughtering, John slaughtering, coach. Now, Nino is a Spanish word for a young boy or a child, because Niña is for a girl, Niño is for a boy. Now, I do not know who that was that said that or who it was intended for, but it was loud and clear. There wasn't no mistake in that one. Later, as we're reading info on Jeff Milton and the dead bell rings, I say that we keep getting confirmation on what we're reading because of the bell. And then we get an EVP that sounds to me like it says, "You're right." And we're right about the confirmation. And then shortly after that, another EVP that sounds like it's from a different spirit that says, "Shut up." At least that's what it sounds like to me. So apparently he wanted whoever commented about us being right, about confirmation from the dead bell, he wanted them to keep quiet, to shut up. So overall, I'd say, this was a great first session in the parlor of the Wyatt Earp House. We got a lot of responses and information for us. Again, still my favorite of the EVPs is the one I think is from Kate, where you can hear her accent and, when she says about Jeff Milton, "I do believe he was in Florida." I love that one. I love getting EVPs like that. Well, that concludes part 3 in our first session in Wyatt's Parlor. So thanks for watching, and feel free to comment, and see you next time.